The thing about this film is that the intention behind it was to show a side of climbing that I didn't think that the mainstream audience really got. We embarked in 2008 on this climb and started shooting together. But one of the themes that we talk about in the film is risk. So much of being a climber and an alpinist is obviously risk assessment, but you're also struggling to move upwards. It's a very kind of calculated space you have to be in, and you have to constantly balance what your ego is telling you and your drive and the safety of the team.
Well, risk was this, it was this constant dialogue, because what we were in this dream to have this film kind of speak to a more general audience, we had to address this idea of, are they bonkers or not? Like, are they totally crazy? And the crazy question always worked against that, because then people would write them off. They're just crazy. And then on the other side of this is that the climbing community and genre is quite understated. Like, if you ask them, was that difficult? They're like, it was fine. Yeah, we almost died, but it was fine. It's like a very, very understated culture. And there's I've got I'm allowed to make fun of Jimmy for this a little bit because I'm his wife and his filmmaking partner, but it's just, it was important for me to include the next clip that we're gonna show, because it was just an interesting thing that wasn't included originally, and it spoke to the understatement of the culture and how Jimmy was loath to put himself in the movie.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Xavier Delarue.
The general mood was pretty light. Our objective for the day had been reached. Good vibes. Our conversation before dropping in was go one at a time, make sure everyone's in a safe spot.
So Jeremy made a couple turns, cut up on the side of this safe zone, called me in, and I make a turn right next to his turn, and then I feel it, the whole slope shift.
I yell, avalanche, just screaming, get out, get out, get out.
For a moment, it looks like slow motion. In the next moment, everything went to fast forward, and I got swept. I'm airborne, totally weightless.
And I lost sight of him. That was the last I saw of Jimmy, and the slide just kept going and going and going and going.
I just got crushed under an ocean of car-sized blocks, probably going 70, 80 miles an hour down 2,000 vertical feet. And in my mind, I heard this voice having this conversation that was like, wow, I always wondered how I was gonna die, and now I know. I was just expecting to get torn to pieces, but after a while it started to slow down, and this weird undercurrent started pushing me up through the snow, and at the last moment I popped out of the toe of this thing, buried up to my chest. I was in that moment being like, oh my God, I'm in one piece. Like, I coughed up this huge chunk of snow, and I took this huge breath, and I was like, and I looked at my arms, and I was like, I couldn't even believe they were still connected to my body. And then, yeah, it was a lot.